Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Baltimore. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Buehler. We're in the semifinals. It's Ben Stark versus Gerard Fabiano. And this is going to be a great one, Randy.
Yeah,
These decks could not be more opposing in the way that they've approached, trying to pick up a win here in cons.
Gerard's on a mulligan, I believe. Gerard?
Yeah, we have the names.
Oh, the names are backwards.
Yeah,
That's
the names are backwards here. So.
Guy on the left is on a mulligan, which is Ben.
Right. That's Ben. He doesn't have white mana, at least on the table yet. And that could be an issue for him, though. It looks like he's got a morph, probably a Ponyback Brigade, but also could be a Krumar Bondkin as well.
Gerard has all three of the Sultai colors. Box has a secret to punish the mulligan a little more.
It could be. And, that's a card that we saw.
Pick?
Yes, he windmilled it.
Wow.
And he was not in black yet.
What was his first pick?
It wasn't too bad either. It was dig through time.
Okay.
So he wanted to support that pick as much as possible. Well. It was Ponyback Brigade there, as debilitating injury sends it to the graveyard. And Ben Stark off to a clunky start here. His deck is actually pretty smooth, and he's actually, I believe he's got 2 debilitating injuries in his hand. And those don't do a whole lot against Gerard's deck. He does not have targets for that. Now, I can tell you that Gerard does have a win condition that does provide a few targets for it, but in Gerard's best case scenario, a lot more than Ben Stark really wants to deal with, and that is empty the pits. I've never seen such a dedicated
Did he main deck that?
I need to know.
No, he did not main deck the empty the pits.
So he made the adult decision. We counted it, and out of his first 7 picks, he had 23 delve opportunities. And that was without that card.
Yeah, what are you counting the X as?
Yeah, that was before
Raider spoils with 3 warriors and a debilitating injury on the morph.
Wow, hit for 6, and let's cash this in for some cards.
I thought you said this draw was clunky.
It just
this draw spectacular.
So the difference was that
Necro for 3, refill.
That's how you translate everything.
Hey, look, if you're paying 1 life for 1 card, you're activating Necropotence.
Do you walk up to the ATM and say, "I'd like to Necro for 20"?
I will now. Now that you've suggested it.
So the key though was take up arms, right? That was what made this draw amazing. Was that he has take up arms, he gets to flash it on end step, and then play Raider spoils. And, of course, also got a blocker out of the way. And now he's just reloaded his hand and is looking to be in sweet position now. Gerard's not done yet, though.
No, Flair on defense obviously helps.
Right.
He didn't know those warriors were coming last time.
And it looks like both
Blocks
of them
are
going
to
get blocked.
He's not going to block with his morph. But he's going to destroy an enchantment.
Right, so this is one way that you can... Wow, that does not happen very often. Raider spoils in this format. Now there is naturalized erase as well, but they never get played. It just sticks.
Right.
It's just might as well just bolt it to the table. But Gerard finds a use for it. Wow. And this reduces Ben Stark's turn into rubble.
Oh yeah. Suddenly he lost 2 warriors where he was only planning to lose 1.
Right.
He was planning to either trade with a morph or draw 2 cards. He drew 0.
And instead his follow-up was Jeskai Student, which is quickly getting outclassed by Gerard's draw here. And it looks like Ben has drawn quite a few lands here as well.
A little bit flooded.
And he's in that awkward stage for an aggressive deck where, now that he's hit his 8th land drop, he can play his Bondkin.
Play his 7th spell.
Right. Fabiano has a much superior late game to Ben Stark. Generally speaking, he's got some really powerful stuff. Ben, though, can definitely go deep into the game here with his Raider spoils. He's also got a Sorin Solemn Visitor in the deck as well. He can make stuff happen, but in the meantime, wow. Treasure cruise for Gerard Fabiano. And that's bad news for Ben Stark, as he's already ahead on board as Gerard, and now he's filling up his hand even further.
All right.
So Ben's trying to figure out what to do? Or is it Gerard that's figuring out what to do?
It's on Ben.
I think Ben has 2 lands in hand. Or maybe 2 of his 3 cards are lands? I'm not really sure. But he's got way too many lands drawn here in any case to make much of a
Looks like
fight.
he's drawn 10 of his 18. Gerard hitting with Abomination of Gadul. Anything bad that he drew off that Treasure Cruise, he can turn into a new draw.
Ugh, this is just getting bad. Now Ben is chump blocking
Fuel Future Delve.
to save himself a turn. And he finds a Krumar Bonkin, but is it too late? I think his hand is land, Bonkin.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got 2 planes and a swamp in there too, so tough draw here for Ben.
Yeah. This is off a mulligan, too.
Right, he mulliganed as well.
I'm like, mulliganing into a flood feels even worse somehow.
Yeah.
You have less cards to work with. Why are they all lands?
Right, and he got to draw, what, I think 2 extra cards off the Raiders?
3.
Piles? Was 3, yeah.
Yeah.
The full amount. And Gerard even let him off easy by not finding a Rakshas's secret. But yeah, when you draw this many lands, it's going to be tough. Gerard's made sure that even if he drew too many lands, he's going to go right through it by playing a Treasure Cruise. You know, he's got some backup plan there. And here's that Bonkin now for Ben Stark, who passes the turn back to Gerard. Ben's on 6. He's going to be dead in 2 turns as the board sits. And it's going to be pretty tough for him to punch 14 damage through Gerard's defenses here as well.
But we just flip another Abomination.
This is lethal.
6 in the air?
And this is just the old morph reveal there for Ben Stark.
Yep.
So Gerard Fabiano makes quick work of Ben Stark in that first game. Ben Mulligan had what looked like a fantastic sequence, but you know, I think the simple reality is he just drew too many lands there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of the end of that. Now Gerard Fabiano, all he wants to do is draw lands. Like he's got a lot to do with his mana in this deck. It's got a lot of very expensive spells, a lot of delve spells. He definitely is pretty comfortable finding a whole bunch of mana sources one way or the other. Both of these players are Grand Prix champions, by the way.
Yeah, this is top 8, 14, I think I saw.
Is that what it was?
It's definitely a double-digit number for Ben. I think Gerard's still in singles, but closing in on 10. I think he's 7, 8, something like that.
I could give you a video that catches you up to the
Oh, I think we've got our turbo camera on the other match. Oh, this is even better.
Oh, this is sweet. So we get to watch game 1 here, basically, or at least where they're up to.
Yeah.
and then we're catching.
Our live looking goes back to the beginning. We'll catch up. All right. Air of the Wild for David Foster.
This is sweet. So Harry Bradford, no, it was David Foster, right, that just absolutely ran over Chris Fennell?
Yes. Yes, he did.
In both games, really?
Yes, he did.
Like-
Fennell was playing a 2-color deck in both games. Two
Yeah.
different colors. Fennell didn't even play a spell in the second game.
I mean, we call this Turbo Edition, but David Foster took that very seriously and kind of turboed through his first match. David also told me that was a rematch between him and Chris.
Oh, sure.
From earlier in the weekend. And Chris got the better of him in that first matchup, but David beat him this time. Didn't seem like there was much Chris could do.
Agreed. Yeah, Foster's got all his colors again. Good
Looks
spell
way-
quality, only 1 multi-land, but
Yeah, nothing fancy here. 2 drops, 3 drops, some morphs. Like,
it's only the second Grand Prix David's ever played.
wow.
I don't think he's ever qualified for the Pro Tour before.
He might just
I mean, this is
retire
all
champion.
He's paying on house money at this point, right?
Wow, no kidding.
All right.
And looks like Obzon Guide's going to trade, but he's going to gain some life out of the deal and be left with the Grizzly. And it looks like we've got kind of a standoff here. Oh, standoff averted.
Forced
That
away.
got forced away. Just
Come back
to buy him
later.
some time.
Wow, Air of the Wilds on both sides.
Hey, look, it's Long Shot Squad. Harry Bradford looks in a good spot here. He's got a bunch of cards in his hand, and we are now caught up. Though it does look like the Mystic of the Hidden Way got kill-shotted in between that last little zip and now, but
Sure.
here we are. That was cool.
I agree.
Nothing like getting caught up. You know, normally we just jump in on a live look.
what's
and
going
but we're kinda
on?
like,
How did
what-
we
what
get here?
happened? Yeah, now we've got a real story behind it.
Lots of trading.
Very aggressive trading, too. Air of the Wild seems pretty good against David. Okay, it looks like we're underway on our main match. Let's jump back over to that. We'll keep an eye on this one for you guys. But in the meantime, Gerard Fabiano and Ben Stark are at it. Gerard's up a game.
I have an 0-4. I have an 0-5. All right, I've outlast. Now I'm a 1-5. I win. I don't think that's how that works.
I think they bounce still for the time being.
Bloodsucker's not nothing.
Bloodsucker's out of the sideboard for Ben.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think he's convinced that Gerard has a lot of ways to deal with blocking. Like he can just block a lot. And I think that Ben might want a way to kind of go around that, to get himself some reach.
Sure.
Gerard Bloodsucker can definitely close out a game a lot quicker than it looks. And here's bitter revelation for Gerard Fabiano. Normally that's the kind of card that Ben Stark wouldn't mind his opponent playing. It doesn't affect the board and it actually damages his life total a little bit too. But without any big pressure going, that that card advantage can add up in a really big way for Gerard. So Ben's going to have to find some way to start getting damage through. Gerard's kind of sitting happily behind a morph and a Archer's Parapet right now. Gerard's going to double check Gerard Bloodsucker's rules text. Okay, land number 4 for Stark, and he's got Raider Spoils. And he's getting aggressive. He's going to attack in there now. He knows that Fabiano only has one, air quotes, real blocker. The other one is going to block, but it's going to let something through. In this case, it looks like the Bloodsucker's going to get in for 3 damage.
And the morphs are going to trade?
And the morphs are going to trade. So what was the morph? It was Ponyback Brigade.
Block for Ponyback.
I just don't think that Ben has any red mana in sight. So right. I don't think he held that in particularly high regard.
Red Mana's deck is...
He's got 4 sources, I believe.
2 mountains, a Bloodfell Caves, a Nomad Outpost.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 sources.
Oh, here's Rakshasa Secret, Gerard's favorite card. And it gets
What did Ben lose?
Well, I see that there's an Unyielding Krumar, and I couldn't quite see the other card.
Let's see what the first one was.
But Ben is left with 1 card left. Oh, it's Is it another Ponyback Brigade? Yeah, I think it's a second copy. He's only got 2 in the deck, so that's the other one. So he did have to get rid of a pretty important one there, though. Unyielding Krumar on this board is potentially a 4-powered first striker that can draw extra cards. Oh, but
no Sorin.
Maybe you held Sorin back.
What? Oh, disdainful stroke.
Snapped off by Gerard. He's having none of that. Disdainful stroke is going to bring Gerard one step closer here. He's got a lot of cards in hand right now, and there's a hard cast Abomination of Gudul that's going to start doing really good work for him. And Ben would love to see some type of removal here. A Throttle right now could be pretty decent. Gerard's down to 13, so he's still at a pretty decent life total here. Stark hasn't been hit yet. And this is just an awkward spot here for Ben. The 3/4 flyer is doing good work for Gerard. Ben is deep in the tank here. He's got land spell, so he's got to kind of decide how his turn pans out, and it looks like he's going to start leveling up the Disowned Ancestor. He's got a long way to go for that thing to be able to get through. 2 more counters. I mean, the Raider spoils does decrease that clock by 1, but if he wants to get it through the parapet, he's going to need to get another couple of counters on it. All right. Here's kill shot represented by Ben Stark, disrespected by Gerard Fabiano as he just says, "Show it to me, kiddo."
You do not look like the kind of man who plays kill shot.
and that is a good read because Ben Stark's deck is
he do
very
not put
aggressive.
kill shot in that deck.
Yeah. So Ben draws his card for the turn after taking the hit from Abomination of Gadul. He has found a mountain. What is this? It is Rise of the Serpent. Yeah. Does UCB have you saying Rise of the Serpent too?
Yes.
It's right.
He keeps calling it Rise.
I know he does. He did it
He's
to
been
me
saying
too.
Rise all day.
I know.
He convinced me.
He did it to me too. I don't blame you, Randy. But no, it is right. And Right of the Serpent takes down the Abomination to help shore things up a little bit. But unfortunately, it's like dig through times resolving.
This just doesn't look
Gerard
fair.
Fabiano. This is ridiculous. Like how is Ben Stark supposed to fight this much card advantage?
I don't know. He got his Sorin Disdainful stroked.
Yes.
He got 2 cards knocked out of his hand by Rakshasa's Secret.
Yes. Which by the way is Gerard's plan. I mean, that is exactly what he's trying to do. He second picked Rakshasa's Secret in this draft. Pack 1, pick 2.
He had to put stuff in the graveyard to
Windmilled
delve
it.
with dig through times.
He knew exactly what he wanted. Once he saw it in the pack, he pointed at it and he took it. This is Gerard's take on the format. This is how he approaches Khans of Tarkir Limited. He wants to be, a blue-black base control deck. He doesn't want to play red.
He wants to win his 3rd Grand Prix.
And he wants to take this thing all the way to the finals, doing it how he does it.
Top 8, number 8. I did look that number up.
For Gerard.
For Gerard, yeah. He's got 2 wins. He won an extended at Grand Prix Philadelphia in 2008.
Yeah. That was a while back now.
And then Montreal last year.
Right. Oh, and here's Dead Drop for Fabiano. That could be it.
I did not think I was going to see Ben Stark lose with this deck today.
I didn't either. And now,
I thought he was going to win the Grand Prix.
If Ben has take-up arms, he might be able to mitigate this. But I think all he's going to do is sack the Disown Ancestor to the Bloodsucker.
Trade for 2.
And
fairly anemic response. I mean, you do what you got to do.
Right. Though that would happen anyway, right? Anyway, whatever.
Sure.
Both of his creatures are gone.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's just if it dies, but whatever. So both creatures down here, and let's just take a snapshot of this board state. I mean, Gerard
the guy on the
is
right's winning.
firmly in the driver's seat. Even though Ben drew one of his most impactful spells here, it's not going to be enough.
Wow.
And Gerard's just jamming with the team here. He's attacking for 7 minimum. Ben Stark has no cards in hand, so it's not like Gerard has to play around anything. He knows exactly what he's up against.
A lone Krumar Bonkin.
Right?
And a Raider Spoils.
And Ben's got to block something. The question is which morph to block, right? Or do you just block the Sultai Flare because you know you're getting something good there?
Probably block a morph.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to get lucky to win this game. Maybe you'll
I feel
randomly
like
block a morph that can't actually flip to trade.
Yeah. Oh, you got my Monastery Flock.
Right.
Yeah. You might be right. All right, it's that morph. It's Sagu Mauler. Oh my god.
Try again. That was the wrong morph to block.
That wasn't it. He's taking 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, dropping him down.
He does
to
trade
5.
with the Sagu Mauler. It's actually a reasonable trade for Ben. Because of the Raider Spoils, he's 6 power. It's actually a trade.
Yeah, I mean, that is true, but...
I mean, that's the best he was going to do against the Sagu Mauler, right?
Yeah. And there's an Obzon Battle Priest,
Battle
but
Priest.
it's just too late here. As Gerard Fabiano's in
Yeah,
turbo
it
mode
seems too
here as
late.
he sees this thing coming. And
Wow.
that's going to do it. Ben has to extend the hand, and Gerard, drafting the deck that he wanted to draft when he came in, defeats not only Ben Stark, one of the best limited players, but with a ridiculously good deck.
Oh, I think Ben drafted the deck he wanted too.
I mean, he
Sorin,
drafted the deck I
High
wanted.
Sentinels.
Decent mana, a good plan.
Wow.
But Gerard is into the finals. Ben Stark's going to have to settle for a semifinal here. He will pick up some pro points on his way out.
Yep.
Some money.
Yep,
Make
yep.
the trip worth it.
Move up in the rankings a couple spots.
Yeah. Currently at 22nd. He's going to bump himself up a bit there. But Gerard
I'm sure he'd love to get back to
Fabiano.
platinum again.
Yes,
Got
absolutely.
to get, 6 Grand Prix results. 1 down.
Just hope that's
Last year it was 5, and his first like 6 GPs he had like top 8s and
Right.
top 16s and finals appearances and all that kind of stuff. So a rough loss there for Ben, but Gerard exactly according to plan. I mean, that is how he drew it up.
It was impressive.
Yeah, and it just worked like a charm.
So are we going to be able to go back to where we were in this match and turbo to catch up?
Or it looks like
Or
we're
we
kind
just-
of in between games here. I think it's probably better to just.
in between games.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's still 1 foul, so we have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, let's just
Do we know
pick-
who won the first game? If we can't, All right. doesn't sound like we can jump back in the middle of our turbo recording.
I mean, it seems like a nice place to jump in here since we're going to get the beginning of this next game anyway. But
Body language, who do you think won?
the guy on the right.
That's where I was at too, but then
Yeah.
David Foster had a nice smile.
No, I'm a body language master,
All right.
and it
Good
came
read.
through. Yeah.
That was my initial read, but
Yeah.
I thought long and I thought wrong.
You got to go with your initial gut. Yeah.
Think long, think wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That was a fake smile from David Foster. That was a polite smile. Harry's like, my deck's sweet. Have 2, I believe, pretty fair decks battling up against each other here.
Well, I mean, take a
don't
look.
think-
Foster's Obson's pretty good, card quality wise. It's
Okay.
just he's gambling with his mana. Only got the 1 multi.
whoa, huge gamble.
Wow, Harry is green-blue. He's 2 color.
Green blue's a nice 2-color combo in
It's
this
the
format.
right 2 colors, yes. 2 Crippling Chill, 2 Force Away, 3 Glacial Stalker. You know, Mystic, Aerialist, Singing Bell Strike, 1,000 Winds.
David's deck does look solid.
I mean, David's card quality is great. If
Yeah,
he draws,
it's pretty good. Yeah.
You know, if he can draw Swamp Forest Plains, I like David. But I mean, Harry's not trying to draw 3 colors. Like 2 should be good enough.
Yeah.
Curves out 2 Smoke Tellers and a Air of the Wilds on 2. He's got the Awaken the Bear to go over the top. He's got incremental growth. Yeah, he's got the blue blue-green tempo deck. It's a good deck.
But he doesn't have a Sagu Mauler? That didn't
He
make
does
it
not have a Sagu Mauler. Gerard took the Sagu Mauler. Greedy Gerard.
in his colors. All right, so we're underway here in the second game. Harry Bradford looking to secure his slot
Does it not get to be Simic?
in the finals. It's Simic. It shouldn't be UG.
It's got to be Simic, right?
We got all these sweet names now. We got to use them. David Foster's on Obzon, and just to give you an idea of his upper end stuff. By the way, Randy, he hit Obzon
A forest,
Tron.
a swamp, and an island. Yeah, he's
on
got
Tron.
Tron. He wins.
Yeah, so it's Obzon Ascendancy, Obzon Charm, 2 guides, and even an On Offense of the Foremost.
Awesome.
So, yeah, Chief of the Scale floating around there too. But that's his big top end, or his really potent stuff. But he's also got like a Dead Drop and a Murderous Cut, really solid cards as well.
Oh, yeah.
Ruthless Ripper, big fan of that one.
Morph blocks.
Yeah, his deck just looks very solid. The mana is the question, for sure.
Is that Grizzly going to wake up from a hibernation? Nope. Ooh, got a Spell Snatcher.
All right. Seems
I think I
reasonable.
saw Awaken the Bear in his hand, but I guess he had some more pressing things to do with his
He
turn
wants
4.
to get his raid on here.
That makes sense.
That's
Wow,
really
that
nice
token
against
is
a
so
Teamer
good against
Charger.
Teamer Charger.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's the most miserable. Now Teamer Charger's just fated to trade for the Horde Chief.
Harry, by the way, has Forest.
Oh, does he?
We haven't seen blue mana out of him.
And Forest
And he
off the
just drew a
top.
Forest. I think he's
Is he stuck?
he's playing mono green.
Unwilling to trade off his Charger for a lowly Warrior token. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I see a long game plan here for Foster that involves playing every creature in his hand and then that Obzon Zenithsea. I think that's actually next turn, though. I think this is the last creature.
Forest off the top. Jeez.
That is a bit of a dagger, though now he could cast something like a Pine Walker or Hooting Mandrills. That'll work. Okay, so he's still moving forward with his board state here. It could be worse. But I think that David's out of creatures now. So I think it might be time to pull the trigger on the Obzon Ascendancy, perhaps. I think he's got like Throttle, Dead Drop, something, and then Ascendancy. If that something's not a, more for a creature, it might be time to just run it. No, it's something else. Oh, it is Ascendancy. All right. Yeah, that token is really doing work. It held back the horse. And it's now created a real threat, a real creature, a 2/2 warrior here. But wait, there's more?
Outlast.
Outlast, sure.
5/5's better than 4/4.
Right, and that's going to let it tussle with the hooting mandrills profitably. How about an island here, Harry? You're supposed to, I mean, he's the 2-color deck.
I know.
Right? This is what he's supposed to get, is consistency, where the other deck's supposed to stumble. Meanwhile, his opponent didn't get that memo, is playing 1 Scoured Barrens and just went all natural Swamp Island, or excuse me, Swamp Plains Forest. And Harry is going to rumble with the mandrills. He figures, well, it's not going to be able to tussle well with the long shot squad
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, David can double block.
Yeah, but he
Try to trade Horde Chief for it.
Yeah, he risks a...
Right, he gets blown
blowout.
out by many spells in green.
Yeah, I think Awaken the Bear might be in his hand, too. Still, though, given the fact that Harry's off of blue,
Yeah, he's been able to play spells.
he has cast a spell every turn. Ooh, Murderous cut off the top. Jeez. Foster's draw just looks insane.
If he gets Tron, he's in good shape.
Yeah, you're right. He's got Awaken the Bear in his hand, too, with his opponent down to just double forest. There's nothing to fear.
Here's my 5/5. Have some of
That's
this.
for 5. Go. And he's got 2 removal spells at instant speed in his hand. He can only play one of them, but...
Island!
Uh-oh. There's an island. That could definitely change things here. But Bradford has to just be terrified. Foster
5
does
on top
not
mana.
have a morph. Yeah, just 5. I mean, it could be Throttle. It could be Kill Shot, Murderous Cut. Like, there's just so many things that go horribly awry here for Harry. I wonder if you just don't bother attacking. Like, your best case is that he's got, like, all lands in hand and he's just didn't play a land this turn. Seems so unlikely.
I don't know that you can not just... If he's not going to attack, when does he get to attack if he's not willing to attack this turn?
When the coast is more clear, I suppose.
All right. Well, Throttle's going to take out the mandrills.
I don't think it is. Wake up.
Throttle's going to trade with Awaken the Bear.
There you go. Yeah, he decided not to attack, and Foster did that on end step. Test the waters a little bit. There's a Alpine Grizzly off the top for David Foster, which doesn't look amazing on this board, but sure. What is this?
Crippling Chill.
Oh, he chilled it out.
Yep.
Okay. Well, now that Mandrills is lining up depending on what Foster does here.
All right. Horde Chief then.
No, he didn't do this last turn, but now that his mana's all tapped, I guess he wants to try to
Yeah.
punch through a few points of damage, and yeah, it's 3, drops him down to 12. He's got combat tricks galore. Just going to play out the Grizzly here. Okay. A threatening Grizzly can block pretty decently, but also just can threaten the crackback really nicely. Harry is down to 12, and David has a pretty impressive board here.
Second island. I think Harry's got enough of those now.
I think he was just thinking that too, Randy. He's already got another forest in his hand. What is the blue card in his hand? Is it a Mystic of the Hidden Way? Is it a Water Whirl? What is that? Foster's down to 13 himself. Is it a Singing Bell Strike? What is that card? A Singing Bell Strike.
It is a Singing Bell Strike.
All right. Well, that doesn't look too amazing here, to be honest.
Attacked with everybody except the mandrills?
The mandrills?
Interesting. I guess their job is to block.
I guess they're blocking the Horde Chief and the Warrior. All right, so Harry's decided to just jam with most of the team here. And Foster's pretty happy to let the Teamer Charger trade, and he's even going to offer a trade with Smoke Teller here, which is kind of interesting. Oh! Big Loxodon, though, is going to get in for a big chunk of damage. And David Foster's going to get 1 spirit token from the Grizzly.
2 trades, but he takes 6 down to 7.
I mean, he traded a Grizzly, Alpine Grizzly, for a smoke teller. But he does get a spirit out of the deal, so that's nice.
Sean did an awesome job this weekend. Really, really awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, long shot squad does not untap. Crippling Chill was last turn.
Doing a little math here. Harry Bradford down to 12 up a game. Playing a Simic deck that he's drafted here. That is a nice little 2-color combo in this format. You can get a good tempo deck with that. You got the Force Aways and the Crippling Chills to keep the creatures at bay while you battle with things like Hooting Mandrills and Alpine Grizzlies. Is it dead drop a clock? What's going on here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, he doesn't have enough mana for that yet. Does have it in his hand, though. Nothing. That seems fine. Just pass the turn. He wanted a dead drop there, but couldn't really make it happen.
He's kind of got to play defense. I mean, David's down to 7. There's
Yeah.
10 power on the other side.
He's just not scared of it. He's got that murderous cut, which is going to fuel the dead drop.
The lack of an attack from the Mandrills is pretty interesting there.
That is really interesting. He's going to block with the spirit to try to get a trick. Didn't happen, so he's going to fire off his murderous cut. I like the gumption there. I mean, look, it could have been Awaken the Bear.
Right.
He blocks with the spirit. He goes, okay, I can kill you with
Awaken the Bear
Awaken
for
the
lethal.
Bear. Yeah, so I like it. Got to try to get your value or you can get it. Now, he didn't fall for it, but that also, by the way, gives him enough mana now to dead drop. So if Harry's like, okay, well, I got 1 more creature, let's do this, then David can just wipe away his board. And if he doesn't, he, of course, can just wipe away his board anyway. Yeah, I think we're going to see a dead drop to take out the Mandrills.
Just the Mandrills?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it worth it?
Maybe. I mean, he might want to wait 1 turn because he can use his mana to untap.
Use the untap. Yeah, I think you untap long shot squad.
And give him a chance to play 1
Give him a
more
chance to
creature.
play a second creature.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that line. Draws Crippling Chill. Or Force Away or something? Or
I think it was Crippling
Aerialist?
Chill.
What is all that? Yeah.
Interesting. Do you chill Horde Chief to get your Mandrills beat on?
That could be the play.
Right. Well, Mandrills can run over Horde
Yes,
Chief.
I mean it does match up favorably. Also, you can bounce it.
All right. Don't you just pay 6 to untap long shot squad though? And block with your 5/5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you pay 6 here. It takes Awaken the Bear out of play, which is, I guess, less than ideal, but
The problem is the Mandrills has has trample, right? So you're taking on a big risk if you did that other play. This is really funny.
it is kind of funny.
It untap and just gets immediately frozen. That long shot squad has had a very long day at the office.
Still untap next turn though. It doesn't care what Crippling Chill says.
It
6
can't.
mana will trump the Crippling Chill.
It will. It won't naturally, but it wasn't going to anyway.
Wow, he's going to block with Horde Chief just to not take 4 trample?
He doesn't want to die to Awaken.
Yeah, he would die to Awaken the Bear.
That's pretty conservative block, though.
Yeah. Yeah, if he hadn't paid the 6 to untap Longshot Squad, then he could have... David hasn't Awakened the Bear in his own hand. He could have used that with the Horde Chief to eat the Mandrills.
Right.
It's a tricky spot.
But
All right, now it's dead
drop
time.
a clock. Yeah, it's time to wipe away this board and get to beating down. Is that spirit actually tapped right now?
No.
It should have untapped, right?
Spirit should have untapped.
Right. Zoop. There we go. Oh, and this is not what you want to see if you're Harry Bradford. He knows it.
Yep.
Dead drop. Bang. 2 creatures hit the bin, and Bradford's left with like a forest, I think, in his hand. Now the good news is the Singing Bell Strike's doing just enough work here to keep that clock off of Harry for a turn, as he's only actually taking 2 damage in this sequence. But with double forest in hand, He's actually still alive, though. Like, even if Foster decides to use his entire
Puts him at
turn
2.
here. Yeah. Which I think is the play.
Yeah, pay 6, untap it.
Yeah, and then you've got 2 lethal. The 2 spirits are lethal on their own. If they both get in. The quick forest check there. Yep, that still makes green mana. All right, take 7. And he's down to 2. It's hard to imagine a card that can get Harry out of this mess. Not going to be able to get 7 damage in. And most of the cards in the blue-green deck are more kind of delay tactics rather than like actual answers.
Right.
You see that from Singing Bellstrike and the crippling chills that we saw from Harry. And Foster, interestingly, just going to run out Ruthless Ripper.
Yeah, he didn't have 3 mana.
Yeah.
I like that play.
I mean,
Opponent's
it
at
is
2.
lethal, you know,
Right.
if he had a black spell, but I don't think he does. So what has Harry found? Well, he found a Glacial Stalker. He didn't pay enough for it. There we go, 6.
What does that do?
And that is not going to cut
No.
it. So this decision is pretty easy for Foster. You can even just dump his mana into Longshot Squad here, no problem.
Yeah.
And but the spirits will get the job done in the air.
Oh,
So we're going to get a game 3 here.
we are going to get a game 3 here.
All right. Who wants to play Gerard? Who wants to delve deep? These 2 gentlemen are fighting for that honor.
Sure.
Now, do you see the difference in body language there? On the right side of your screen? A little less happy about this one. And who can blame him? I mean, that's a tough loss to take. He drew a lot of lands.
The whole qualify for the Pro Tour part is in the distant past. Now it's time to win the Grand Prix.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is, you know, we have to remind people that both of these gentlemen have now qualified for the PT, and that's great. And they've locked up a nice little cash finish here and some pro points. But I think you just, like, you're playing Magic now. I don't think you really think about that stuff until after, when your friends come up and go, dude, you're in the Pro Tour, right? I think what happens now is you're just like, oh, I wanted to draw more lands. I want to win.
Hey, these are 2 of the guys that won that win and in the last round.
Yep. Yeah, they had to fight to get here.
Yeah, Foster had a pretty quick win over Andrew Cuneo. Cuneo with his 2 Dune Blasts, but just thoroughly flooded in game 1. I didn't see the second game. I guess you guys watched it on Turbo. Didn't look like it lasted very long. I didn't have time to check in on it, so that can't.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, that was David over Andrew. And then Harry Bradford had a super tight match against a pretty nice Mardu deck. Mardu player bought himself a dozen turns trying to draw a burn spell. Could not find it. No arrows. No top 8. A Pro Tour invite happens sometimes.
I think I like Harry in this matchup. It's close though. But I think that like Foster can get into the trap of like having outlasted a bunch of times, or flip up a big morph like an Obzon Guide and have it crippling chilled a couple of times and really take him out of the game.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. The matchup is solid for Harry, and the mana situation is definitely edge Harry.
Yeah, but Foster's deck just looks more well-rounded. I mean, being in 3 colors means you get access to different types of things that you wouldn't, you know, like hard removal. I mean, Foster's got debilitating injury,
Right.
murderous cut, throttle, dead drop. Harry Bradford has none of it. Nothing even resembling those. I mean, Singing Bellstrike is a far cry from that. Uh-oh. Mulligan, though, for Harry. What about David?
I think I saw 2 lands in there.
The colors of those lands.
They didn't match.
Okay, that's good. That helps a lot.
I mean, I'm not confident I read his name correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the real story with David's deck is that it's a super solid Obzon build that has not good mana.
Yeah,
His mana, he has neglected it, or maybe those lands just didn't come in.
Yeah,
and
he's,
so
he's
just
4
running
multi-lands from a great deck.
it. Yes, and he's just running it. I mean, it's hard to cast Unoffensive the Foremost on turn 3 when you've got 1 dual land in your deck. Now, he did it last time. He didn't cast the card, but he could have. He had all 3, so that's the question. I think that's really the thing that, you know, if you want to know who's going to win this game, the first clue you're going to get is to look at David Foster's mana as he develops it and see what kind of colors he has access to.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Harry's running the super shuffle here. There we go. Oh yes, the Cutton shuffle. It's a rarely seen maneuver from Foster there, but he is.
David's still learning the
supposed to do that.
mechanics.
Yeah, and you know you are supposed to shuffle your opponent's
Yeah.
deck, not just cut it here at this professional level. So I'm glad he did that. And we got a keep here from Harry or not? What do you got, buddy? Negative.
No.
I think that was a no-lander there for Harry Bradford.
Down to 5.
And things could get tough. You know, because one of the ways that this can play out, right, is that Harry mulligans to 5 and has a clunky start. David doesn't have his mana initially. The door's open, but
Yeah.
then he gets enough time to find it, and then all of a sudden his spells are just better.
Sure.
So David Foster over there like 4, 4, 4, 4. But being very polite.
I don't know if he's been around enough to know to chant for 4.
So far the 5 chant got there for him.
Yeah, Foster apparently in the first draft this morning picked up his pile of drafted cards to look at it in the middle of the pack.
You know, he actually did that in the top 8 draft.
No, in the top 8 draft, what he did was he picked up the 3 cards that were being passed
Yeah,
before
the
it was
pile,
time.
yeah.
I mean, he picked up the pile of drafted cards. Like, he was reviewing what he'd already drafted because he didn't know you couldn't.
Yeah, that's...
He's never played a limited Grand Prix until today.
I can feel, you know, when I played in GP Salt Lake City, and I made day 2 of that, and I put a pen on top of my deck.
So you wouldn't look?
Yes, because it's just like...
No, most people during pickup drafts,
Magic
Magic
Online
Online,
style,
Magic
right?
Online trades,
Yeah.
you're allowed to look at the cards you've already drafted.
Yeah.
So yeah, David reached for the pile, picked it up. I mean, got a warning, obviously.
He actually-
and that's why there was you saw the flurry of judges in the draft. It was
Right.
because it was sort of a second offense.
Yes.
I mean, it was a different thing, and I mean, there were 3 cards left in the pack. It was
Right.
It was clear to the judge that this was not. He was not doing anything to gain an edge.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good choice by the judge to not...
Yeah, and the judges had actually looked up his history to see that this is his first ever limited GP.
Right. All right, so...
No warning history.
White mana for David Foster in the early stages. So he's still making plays. Going to have some time here as Harry is going to have a tough time coming up with too big of a threat. I think he might leave back this air and just play a morph, and I think it's going to be a Mystic of the Hidden Way. I think that, you know, one of the ways that you can win a game that you're way behind on cards here is just produce an evasive threat that just chips away every single turn and then just try to manage the board beyond that. Oh, he is attacking.
Not leaving back the air. Wow.
All right, well, that's
block.
nice
even
trade
better,
there
yeah.
for Bradford. He did not want to have to deal with taking 4 a turn, and there is a morph. We didn't see which one it was. I think he might have had... Does he have a Kara Spell Snatcher?
He does.
Yeah, that might have been that too, so... Uh-oh, it looks like the mana woes have caught up to David on both quantity and quality here, though. As
Somewhere
his
Chris
turn
Fennell is
4
shaking his head.
Yeah. Turn 4 play isn't very good. It's just an Archer's Parapet. Now, that does some work here.
He drew Abzan Guide this turn.
He did, which, you know, looks like a bad draw given that he doesn't have white, but
Better than what he had.
that's the thing.
It's better than playing Archer's Parapet.
Now, the question is, he's also got an Awaken the Bear. Does he just sit back? No.
Nah, you gotta drop your morph.
I mean, I think Harry's attacking into the parapet.
Yeah.
So you might be able to get him, but yeah, not super relevant. And that's the Mystic of the Hidden Way, and I think we're going to see that flipped up right now. That is the clock that Bradford needs to punish Foster for the mana woes he's had here. So this is a big, big play for Harry, as if that thing survives...
Does he have incremental growth in his hand?
White right off the top.
Wow.
Yes, he does.
I believe Harry
have
has incremental growth. Does he have the second forest? Or is our 2-color player also color screwed?
No, he's color screwed as well. I mean, mulliganing to 5, put him there, but now all of a sudden David Foster finds that
Incremental growth
plains.
Mystic of the Hidden Way?
Yes, take 6, 12, 18, you're dead. Like, if he finds a forest off the top and David doesn't have removal in hand, he could easily steal this game. Also, if he finds it, he can get Mystic of the Hidden Way out of throttle range, which is huge, because that's one of the most likely spells to kill it. He drew it! He drew
off the top!
Now, he's going to have to put one on the
Archer's
Parapet, but
fine.
big whoop.
Yeah.
No, we didn't play it.
Interesting.
Okay, he must have something sweet lined up here.
Teamer Charger?
You know what? I think that's a
the
little
Teamer
greedy.
Charger?
I think it's greedy. I think
Does he have
wants
Awaken
to
the Bear or
have 3
something?
targets of his own.
Yeah, no. Give the Archer's Parapet a counter. You make a 4/4 blocker.
Man.
You make a 6-power Mystic of the Hidden Way.
I mean, you can see how the logic's there where you're like, well, I'd rather have 3 counters on all of my
Yeah,
creatures.
and you don't want to necessarily give your opponent one on
No,
the Parapet.
but I think when you weigh it on the scales of justice,
the timing, the tempo,
The
like
result
he gave
is
him an extra
greedy.
turn, right? It's
Oh,
going
at
to take him an
least.
extra turn to win.
now, as it turns out, just to snap back to reality here, Foster actually has Obzon Charm, so he will be able to deal with this threat anyway. When Bradford does go for it next turn, maybe it puts Bradford in a slightly better spot as well, just because he will have 2 other very big threats. You don't want to be results oriented about your thinking. I think you want to try to slam the door as fast as possible there.
On a mull to 5?
Yeah, and your opponent's got 6 spells in their hand.
Yeah,
I just don't think you can toy around. As it turns out, though, Foster's got Murderous Cut and Obzon Charm in hand. So Bradford's going to have a very difficult time winning if he pulls the trigger on that incremental growth next turn. Because Foster's just going to systematically dismantle those 2 cards and effectively create, what's going to end up being about a 2-for-1 out of the deal. But this turn, it's going to be Murderous Cut. All right, well, Bradford's going to lose his evasive threat, but he did not fire off the incremental growth, so he doesn't get fully punished. I see Crippling Chill in hand here for Bradford. And no attack from Foster, or did the Morph attack?
the Morph already attacked.
Morph had already attacked. Okay, so Crippling Chill is going to lock down the long shot squad.
Yeah, now he can attack through the Archer's Parapet.
So here we go. Now he's got to do it, right?
Doesn't have to. I mean, he can just attack.
But
Threaten.
he's only getting in for 2.
True.
Okay, I mean, he must have multiple cards he can play this turn then. Yeah, he does.
Does he have a real Aerialist in his hand, too?
Couldn't see it, but it did look like it might be that.
I think it's incremental growth and the six mana flyer.
I think you're right. At first I thought it was a Jeskai Elder, but he would have played that. So yeah, I think it is Aerialist now.
Uh-oh.
Whoops. Here's Obzon Guide to completely throw the race mana off, and Harry is going to start falling way behind here as Foster gets to bolster his life total and to start deploying the infinite spells he's got in his hand. Right now he's just sort of said, well, you know what, let's just make an Obzon Guide, and you have to deal with this now because you can't race it. 3 cards in hand for Harry Bradford.
I think Harry drew an Alpine Grizzly, which he can hope could block and trade with Obzon Guide.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like now's the time. Like, now he's got his opponent completely tapped out, and he has 3 creatures on board, so it's time. Let's get some counters going, and let's try to get a big crunch in there, Harry. All right, here we go. So who's getting what? This is, of course, going to depend on which morphs those are, but he gets to pick how he wants to do it. So he wants to make sure that
He wants to create 5-power creatures.
Yeah, and he's created 2. Crunch.
2 5-power creatures that Archer's Parapet can't really block.
Now this is, not optimal just because he's left back a blocker that can't actually
fight an Obzon
block
Guide?
the Obzon Guide. So I think maybe you just leave one of them back here. Like, I think you either attack with all or leave one back, right? Like,
Yeah, why is the 3/3 playing defense?
I don't know what the morph is back for. Remember, the long shot squad's not untapping anyway, so not even a trade possible there. So I think you just probably crunch with the team there if you're going to go for it, or you crunch with your biggest creature and leave back the other to block the Obzon Guide. But this seems to be kind of a hazy middle ground that's not great. Now, he didn't just play it, right? No, yeah, I don't know why he didn't attack with it.
I mean, it's an easy. Archer's Parapet would block it, but then Archer's Parapet can't do this.
Right, and that's the thing. You want to you either want to take away those options, or you want to leave back a blocker for the guide. I mean, the guide's now just going to recoup, 4 of that life anyway. And by the way, Harry's life total's going downwards too. It's an 8 mana, it's an 8 life point swing that you're allowing. So I think if I'm sitting in Foster's seat, I'm looking at my hand and I'm feeling like, okay, I've got the tools. I can navigate this game and get myself a win and put myself into the finals. The question is just, how do I do that? And stage 1 is
The tag with Obs on guide.
8-point
That one
life
seems
swing.
easy.
That part seems easy. Now what? Start picking off creatures. He's got kill shot too.
Yeah, he just drew it.
Oh man. So I think this turn you might just want to use your mana efficiently and plan on playing your throttle. Oh, is that long shot squad? That should be tapped still, right? Isn't it crippling shield? I wonder if we can get that double check, because I'm pretty sure that got crippling shield.
It might have been
It was
turns ago.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's not. So long shot squad, though, is sitting back on defense because he actually can trade for the teamer charger. And David Foster's basically just trying to keep his life total in check. Now, Singing Bell Strike's going to allow... Well, I mean, this is a big hit. Don't get me wrong, it's 8. But the problem is that Obs-on guide. All right, there we go. Now Harry's got a blocker for the Obs-on guide so that it doesn't get to just keep attacking. The hits keep rolling here for
He
Foster.
can't quite cast Dead Drop yet. There's only 3 cards in the yard.
Yeah, well, once he kills one of these creatures with a murderous cut or a throttle or a
Kill shot.
Yeah, kill shot, he'll be back in business. Yeah, I wonder if Foster just wants to attack, or just wants to take out the Grizzly proactively here. I mean, that would bring Harry down to 6.
Foster goes up to 11.
It does get a little sketchy, though.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
he could die to it and awaken the bear in that scenario.
8. We don't know what that morph is.
Block. Immediate block. Oh, I see. He's got Awaken the Bear, and now he also has mana for Murderous Cut as well.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Awaken the Bear. Tramples over
And
Alpine Grizzly. Survives to tell about it. And the lifelink is now +7.
Yes. Yeah, that's just a huge life swing for Foster. Wow, what a great tempo play, and he's got...
Yeah, he's got Murderous Cut mana available if something crazy comes up, although I think he'd prefer not to cast Murderous Cut here. He'd prefer to cast Dead Drop.
That's correct, and Murderous Cut's going to make that quite difficult if he has to take out 3 of the cards in his yard. So
But yeah, Teamer Charger's forced to play D.
Yeah.
It's like, David will happily take 3.
And
how close is he to Dead Drop?
He's 1 away.
1 away?
Yeah. Like if he draws an untapped land, he gets to do it.
He drew Anafenza.
Jeez. His hand is so stacked. He drew perfectly up to 5 mana, all of his colors, and then just started drawing spells and has not looked back.
Do you just 5 mana Murderous Cut kill Charger? Hit with Obs on Guide?
Probably. I mean, he's at 11.
He can also throttle Teamer Charger.
Yeah,
He has a throttle, not a Murderous Cut.
I think he's got both.
He used...
Did he already use a Murderous Cut?
Wasn't that the card on the bottom of his graveyard?
Probably. Either way, he's got a 5 mana-ish removal spell in the wait. I mean, the guy has the tools to get the job done.
Yeah, it's just
Like how
minimizing outs. What can Harry draw that can beat you?
Right.
I feel like you want Obs on Guide to fight something so you gain 4 life. I think throttle the Teamer Charger. Attack with Obs on Guide. Put Harry at 1.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, you're leaving Harry
got
with
Dead
just
Drop
the
for
one
next
creature.
turn.
Yeah.
And there is the throttle. Oh, it runs into Stubborn
Denial. It is a hard counter in that spot, but it would have been good enough as a Force Spike anyway.
All right. Now what? Now you leave Obs on Guide back? You offer the trade? Trade's not great. David kind of wants something to attack with. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Harry trades in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I don't think I would trade there because, looking at my hand, I've got multiple removal spells, including
Nothing
a
to
dead
attack
drop.
with except this.
Yeah, and nothing to battle with. I mean, he's been, I mentioned that he hit that 5th mana and then hasn't drawn any. It's crimping him. He's only been able to play 1 spell a turn. So this is potentially going to give Harry a lot of extra draw steps, as now with no threat from David Foster, he's going to be able to wipe the board. He's going to be able to kill this morph and kind of start moving things forward. But, like Anafenza coming down is something he really wants to do, but I think that's his only play for the turn if he does it.
Yeah, 4 of his spells are white. He's got 4 cards that require white and a dead drop. He's only got 1 plays. So basically he gets to play 1 of the white cards. don't think you dead drop here.
I don't think you do either, not at this point.
And then the best of the white cards is Anafenza.
Yeah. Anafenza go. Now, is Harry really still just on 5 mana here? Like, could that be a Woolly Loxodon that he just now found the 6th mana to flip up?
Could be.
Because the lifelink off the table means, you know, this is a big difference now. Oh, he's got to have something now, though.
Yeah, attacking into Anafenza.
He's attacking into Anafenza, but if you look, David Foster now has enough mana and has lethal. Like, he can just untap and attack, and you're just dead, Harry. So Harry needs something. And I don't think that flipping up a morph here is going to get the job done. It kind of doesn't matter what morph it is. So this is just an attack for 3.
And knowing all that, David should just take it.
Yeah, he should just take it. If Harry spends his 6 mana, then the game's over. So here's the Riverwheel Aerialist that he's had for a while and needed that 6 mana.
Finally got
Remember,
the 6
Harry
mana.
rolled to 5 this game, but I think it is now time to relinquish
Dead drop.
the dead drop, and then he's going to hit him down to 1. He's going to keep up kill shot.
Kill shot
somehow, I guess. I can't imagine anything. Like, there's no
he's a
haste in
spell
this
snatcher.
format. Oh
Jeez.
my goodness! Wow.
He just doesn't play the Aerialist.
And Foster goes for it. He blows him out. By the way, those creatures are not in the graveyard either. It probably won't matter, but Anafenza does prevent the Aerialist and the Spell Snatcher from actually going to the yard. Let's just see if we have a scoop situation here, or if that's actually going to matter. Right now, Foster has an overwhelming board presence, crippling chill.
He has to draw an answer to 2 different creatures.
Yeah, and he's in blue-green. Like, he's just, once you get behind like this, it's so difficult to come back. I think David Foster is going to be our finalist as Harry untaps
Sure looks
his
like it.
land.
Well, I think they figured out the Anafenza
Okay.
mistake, and they're trying
Yeah.
to correct him. Like, those are...
Slightly awkwardly timed, as it looks like Harry's on the verge of just losing here. It's hard to imagine that this is going to matter. I mean, look, I like getting it right too, though, but we are on the precipice of a game ending. A match ending, and Foster putting himself into the finals. So they backed up the crippling chill. Is that what
Yep.
happened? Okay. Smoke Teller's not good enough.
Still not good enough. Yeah.
And he just says go with 1 blue mana up, and David Foster now knows that all he has to do is send his guy sideways, and the game's going to
And
end.
may as well untap this one, too.
Doesn't even matter. There we go. David Foster into the finals.
Harry fought the good fight
He
there.
did. He really
Ball
did.
to 5?
Yeah, that was
He was in that game.
That was a tough match, I think, for both players there. But that
Man,
does
if he
set us
just
in-
leaves Spell Snatcher up and steals the dead drop,
I wonder if that's how that plays out. Oh my goodness.
I don't think you can actually do that.